Hey there, everybody. I'm live. And you're seeing me en naturel. All right, it's not the greatest look, but bear with me. I'm going to give you some really great information. Now, I've been studying what are the most frequently asked questions about Goosedown, in particular Goosedown comforters, because that's something that I am a specialist in. My husband and I ran a comforter shop in Chicago and was part of a family business that started in 1980. We're still performing some light duties for clients who come to us asking to replenish what they purchased from us while we had our store. We don't have the store now, but I am going to be launching an e-commerce store soon, and I will be concentrating only on comforters. The main reason for that is that all the comforters that I sell come with a white outer shell. In other words, the fabric, or what's called the ticking, is a white outer shell. So in a lot of ways, the comforters look the same. The main differences that you're going to find in the comforter lines that I carry are how many ounces of down are in the comforter. You put more ounces of down to get more warmth. The other thing that's important is the quality of the down. The much better quality downs are lighter, and so for the same number of ounces that a lower quality down would have, the same number of ounces in a higher quality will be much, much warmer. And sometimes if you're trying to save money, you may want to go down in the quality of the down so that it's not so hot. That comforter would also be a little bit denser feeling if you like the weight of a comforter. So I want to be here to answer all your most basic questions about Goosedown and comforters. I have the chat started. I will be so shocked if anybody comes to join us. I would love that. I've got like an audience of 7 people on this subscribe channel, and I actually have a podcast that I like to watch too, so I may just break away when that starts. I have a reminder set up. But going back to the comforters, I looked up with analytics to see what are the most frequently asked questions about comforters. Like people want to know, how do I need to launder it? How do I launder it? If I have allergies, is a down comforter bad for me? The answer to that question is yes or no, depending on the quality of the down. You have to understand when you get into really good quality down, it's sanitized and free of allergens. However, everything picks up dust over time, and dust is a problem for some people because dust attracts dust mites. And this is one of the main reasons why people use a duvet cover. And what a duvet cover is like a giant pillowcase that goes over your comforter. Now let me explain. You know how a pillowcase is for a pillow, right? Great. Then imagine a comforter and a pillowcase that would fit over a comforter. That's called a duvet cover, because duvet actually means comforter in French. It's nothing fancy. It's exactly the same as a comforter, just maybe it sounds more chic to say my duvet. Okay, so but we do use the word duvet cover, and a lot of times people use the word duvet to describe a duvet cover. A duvet is a comforter, as I said. A duvet cover covers the comforter. So now back to the quality issue of down. One of the things that's important is the outer fabric. That is just as important as the inside of the down that is contained inside of the comforter. The reason why that is because the fabrics themselves, when we get into a high quality level, they are expensive. They have a tight weave. You don't want the weave to be too tight, though, because you want the comforter to be able to aerate, because the whole principle of the comforter is that it releases heat when it's too hot. And your body is radiating heat, and the comforter is trapping that heat and not allowing it to escape. And it's shocking how much heat you lose over the course of, just a few minutes in one of these really high-end comforters, you will be amazed at how hot you will get. In fact, some people don't like that, and they prefer a summer weight comforter. And one consideration in getting a comforter is, what is the room temperature in your home? Some people like the air conditioner really high. This is probably the main topic of discussion between my husband and I, is what temperature is the thermostat. So if you're a person, like some people like their bedroom really cold, and then they like a lot of covers to keep them warm. So if you like that, you may like our warmest comforter because your room is cold. Some people use air conditioning all year round in the summer, and so a comforter might be really great for you. I'm a person that's always suffering with the air conditioner. I cannot stand it. I mean, I do appreciate air conditioning, but I like it about 76, and my husband likes it about 68 if he had his druthers. We're constantly going back and forth between 72 degrees, which for me is usually really cold unless I'm doing yoga. So back to the down issue, there's a couple of considerations. One is, oh, it's funny, I had like a whistle when I said that, considerations. Okay, so one consideration is country of origin. Now, down basically comes from two areas. I mean, there's some Canadian down too, but it's European down, and then there's Chinese down. And the main difference, from my perspective, is that when you get products out of China, we don't really know about truth in labeling unless we've actually gone there to the factories and observed how things are being manufactured, because China's not the best place when it concerns environmental issues. A lot of times when they're putting their effluents right into the water that people are drinking, they suffer from a lot of pollution. I do not want to contribute to that. The other thing, too, the way the geese are harvested, actually we don't get goose down from China. We get goose down from Europe. What we get out of China is duck down. And this is an issue, too, because duck down is an inferior down. The reason why it is, for a couple reasons. One is, in China, duck is something that people consume a lot. You've heard of Peking duck? The Chinese love to eat duck. And all of this food means that there is a huge amount of down and feather left over that can be used in the down industry. Companies like Patagonia and West something, like mountaineering companies, a lot of them have their apparel filled with this Chinese down. And one of the things that I really don't like about the Chinese down, one thing is, in terms of the quality level, the cluster size is smaller, and so it holds less air. The better quality down has larger clusters from mature geese. These ducks in China are consumed for food, and they are usually plucked repeatedly before they are slaughtered. And it is really a cruel practice that puts the animal under a lot of stress. And that's something else I don't like. So I really am very careful about what vendors, and in our business, we carried really the upper tier. We stuck only with Hungarian goose down and Siberian goose down comforters. When you get into inferior quality comforters, they cut corners with everything, not just one area. They cut corners with the down quality. They cut corners with the construction, how it's sewn. Like, are the stitches tight together? Or are they loose? Are they coarse? Are they strong? Will they last more than 10 years or longer, like a really good quality comforter? Does it have an intricate type of construction that requires more labor? These are all factors that determine the cost of the product. Also, generally, products out of Europe, the cost of goods is higher. Why is it higher? Because people have insurance, people have pensions, people have vacations, and all that gets folded into the cost of employees and producing products. In China, they have slaves and people who work for very, very low wages. And we don't want to participate in that. It's a moral issue. But, everybody's free to do whatever they want. And I'm here to provide you with the best quality products. And in fact, I am going to be offering a duck down comforter just to offer something for people who do not want to go with the higher tier. I'm also going to be offering vegan comforters, and that's going to be really interesting. Now, our exclusive comforter line that we had at our store was all, pardon me, I need to have a drink. Our very original comforter collection was 750 Hungarian Goosedown. Okay. Then later we brought in the Siberian Goosedown, which was supposed to be a tier above. But something, for that tier above, you're going to pay a large premium for that. You know what? I forgot something. I wanted to put a little bit of music on, and I never did that. So hold on one second while I prepare for that. And hold on a second. Let's see.
Yeah, really good deal on this.
Yeah, but I'm doing live video right now. Although no one's listening. So probably people be like, oh, this is great. We can peer in on Lisa's personal life, right? But nobody's here. So it won't matter. Right now I'm trying to get some music for ambiance. So I have to focus here. So just be a second, and let's see where that is.
Soundtracking your.
I'm not sure that makes it better. I may change it to something else, but for the moment, I think it's okay. I may even put it on a little bit lower. This is happy music, just in case you'd like to know. Okay, so back to live video here. What I wanted to say is that the Chinese product is a cheaper product because it is a byproduct of their food industry. And with the higher quality Goosedown, the geese are allowed to mature to an older age, and those are the geese that form the large cluster down that have the very insulative properties. Now, those geese are eventually killed, but those geese, those feathers and down are removed after they are gone and they are dead. Okay, so now some people just don't want to deal with product that concerns any animal. And if that is your case, I am happy to say that I am now offering vegan comforters. And if this is something that you would like me to get for you and to spend some time with you explaining what the differences are, excuse me, I have to go close the door. Close the door here. Okay. It just comes with the territory. We're on lockdown and we're all trapped on top of each other. So there's going to be a few disturbances. At least there's nothing naughty that you saw on a Zoom call, like some things that I've heard about. But back to what I was saying, if you want vegan product, let me just explain to you the range of types of products that are out there. And the thing is, this is the same manufacturer that I've been working with for 30 years, and they have a very high standard in terms of quality. They're not the easiest people to work with, but hey, you know what? Quality counts. Truth in labeling counts, right? I believe in numbers. I'm a person who worked as a chemist for many years. Numbers count. And you could say a number, but if the number's not true, it doesn't really make any difference. And the problem is, there's very few comforters where somebody opens them up, like a test authority for the government, who opens it up and goes inside and takes the down out and brings it to a laboratory to test. That's only a very, very small amount of companies or comforters that get looked at. So it's very easy to purchase something that's not that great. I am sticking with the better quality that you're not going to find everywhere because I'm into niche markets, and that's what we've been doing for 30 years. So there's a whole movement towards sustainable products and green products. Just listen to some of the exciting things I have. Okay, so there's going to be silk-filled comforters, wool-filled comforters. Now, that's not vegan, of course. Wool is a lamb, but the lamb is not killed for the wool, right? Okay, and then also we have comforters that are using lyocell for the ticking, for the fabric on the outside. Now, what lyocell is a sustainable product, and we were one of the first people that was carrying it, like in the 1980s. And what it is created from the cellulose of eucalyptus and beechwood. The particular product that we sold was a beechwood product, and it was grown in oh no, we want the live captions. Yes, we want that. Did I do something wrong just now? I wanted the live captions. Let's see, how do I do that? See, everything's so experimental right now. Like, I just want like a tech person to help me. I don't want to do all these things myself. This bogs everything down. It just doesn't seem professional to me. Okay, well, I'm going to try not to stress because I'm a warrior here, right? I'm a woman, businesswoman, warrior. So I was going to say, on top of being a warrior, I'm also this queen of the, what does it say? Good to be queen. I'm queen. Queen of comforters, certainly. Queen of linens. If you don't know me, my name's Lisa, and I have a handle, and the handle is Lisa One Linen Lady. And you can find me on Twitter, on Facebook, and just about everywhere under Lisa One Linen Lady. I usually use it as my username. Just makes life easy. I've had that name since, I guess, 2008 when I started Twitter. And when I started, there was this guy that did Be a Blogger was the name of his company or whatever, his gig. And he was saying use alliteration. So I thought, Lisa Linen's Lady. And there was a Lisa Linen Lady already. So I made mine Lisa One Linen Lady because I am one linen lady. I'm number one. Number one. Okay, but also, just for your information, I have another area where I have a blog called Lisa Linen Lady, and that doesn't have the one. So I'm trying to figure out what to do with the blog. I'm not quite sure. And then, what can I say? So back to the Goosedown discussion. And I hope I'm able to download this so that I can edit it, or I guess I have to edit it in the YouTube studio because I'm finding InShot to be a lot easier to edit things. But anyway, so there's number of ounces, there's quality of the exterior, the fabric, and the construction, the labor involved in the construction, and then there's the down itself. So, one of the ways that down is measured is called fill power. And one of the first things that you will see on a comforter is the fill power is always cited to show supposedly that the higher the fill power, the better the comforter. However, there are other factors aside from the fill power which determine whether a comforter is good or not. And then it's a matter of how much you're paying for the quality level that you have. It would just be like with cars, right? You could buy a Volkswagen or a junker if you wanted to, or you could buy a Rolls Royce, right? One's a $20,000 car, the other thing's a $300,000 car. Maybe you want something in the middle. I believe in getting something that's above normal, even very, very good, but maybe not the very, very best, because you end up paying a large incremental price for that little tiny bit of quality level. And yes, if price is no option, splurge. Absolutely. It's just like, if you're going to go on vacation or something, there are those that are going where they're trying to economize and maybe they're getting a condo with a kitchen so they can cook indoors or whatever. And then there's other people that want the full experience of going to a lavish restaurant and entertainment, etc., etc. But whatever it is that you decide to spend on a comforter, first of all, I encourage you to, because it is an investment that lasts, I encourage you to spend the most that you can afford to spend. Don't spend more than you can afford. Or if you really want the better quality product, just wait, because I am going to be offering some special deals on the products. And maybe you can save up, or maybe there's somebody in your life that will help you out with the purchase. The types of comforters that we were known for in our business were the types of things that give you easily 15 years of use. I actually threw away my comforter a short while ago. It was 30 years old. All of a sudden, I noticed this down floating around in the room. And on the carpet, it was all over the place. And over the course of a month, the situation got worse and worse until finally I said, you know what, there's got to be a hole here. Let me get this thing out of the duvet and take a look and see where the hole is. And I found the hole, and it was huge. And when I touched the fabric was so deteriorated that was the end of the comforter. Now, this was also a comforter that had been used for displays because, like if Holly Hunt or the Baker showroom wanted me to dress a bed for them, I would do that and bring over the comforter. So it probably was one of those comforters. But needless to say, 30 years is above and beyond. Like, let's say you had a favorite outfit and it lasted 30 years, that'd be crazy. So, what I would tell you is that properly cared for, just like nicer apparel, it can last a long, long time. It's a very basic type of product. And what's nice about it is not only does it provide comfort, it's beautiful. It feels wonderful. And it's a very practical thing, because one of the things that happens is that there's excuse me, I'm looking for a different piece of music. I do not like that last thing. Luxury brings up. Okay, supposedly an inspirational background that's going to be here. I need to be inspired. Actually, I don't need to be inspired. I'm very inspired today because I'm juggling multiple projects, and so where's the music? So imagine you're in Europe and you're in Switzerland in a beautiful mountains, and there's a tiny chalet there. And in it, you walk in, and there's wonderful smells in the air of delicious foods. And you go into your bedroom and you see a beautiful bed overflowing with pillows and comforters, and you jump on it, and it's the most magnificent thing you've ever experienced. And it's cold outside, but you're nice and warm under your comforter. You know what? You don't even need an electric plug for a comforter. It's a very practical, green, sustainable type of energy. It's using the energy that comes out of your body, the heat, and trapping it and putting it to good use. So, that's a lot of what being green's about, is conserving the energy that is emitted all the time. And so it's a fabulous thing. Let's say you had to run out in an emergency and think, okay, there's a fire coming. I have to leave my house, or there's a flood. Or the heat just came off. What do I grab when I leave the house in an emergency? I would take that comforter. I honest to God would. So now let me answer some other questions you have about a comforter. Like, for example, you may wonder, what's the difference between a comforter and a duvet? So, what is the difference between a comforter and a duvet? Absolutely nothing. It's the exact same thing. Duvet is simply the word for comforter in French. Okay, next question. What is fill power? Fill power is a number. It's a measurement. Oh, my music stopped again. I cannot believe this. This is it? You get like, there must be something else. Oh, I can't use this. This is, no, I can't do that. Oh, I should talk to Shuba. Maybe she let me use some of her music. Copy from the music book. Here it is. Beauty.
Soundtracking your
Okay, now let's talk about fill power for a minute. What fill power is a measurement. It's a number, and you find it on comforter products, down products specifically. And the measurement is, I don't know what this means, like captions. Sure. I don't know what to do here. Having some technical issues. I'm very sorry about that. Back to the issue of, what is fill power? I'm going to be cutting this up into little segments. Let me do this again. What is fill power? Fill power is a number that represents a volume. It is the number of cubic inches in 1 ounce of down. So if you take 1 ounce of down and it is a 750 fill power, that 1 ounce actually takes up 750 cubic inches of space. If it's an 850 fill power, it takes up 850 cubic inches of space for the same 1 ounce of down. So when you go to a lower quality, like a 600 fill power down, that down will not feel light and airy. It will feel dense. Yes, it will give you warmth, but ounce per ounce, that down is not as warm. So if you prefer more weight in your blanket, then you may be happy with a lower quality than the very top quality. Or if you like the very top quality, then you would probably like a lighter, fewer ounces of down, like a summer weight comforter. We have 3 different weights. We have our heavyweight, we have a medium weight, which is year round, and we have a summer weight. And then I have a few other things that I'm offering. So I think I've explained fill power. The thing that's important about fill power is the measurement has to be done in a very specific way. It used to be that you would take an ounce of down and you would allow it to expand, and then you would compress it, and then you would allow 24 hours for it to expand, and you would measure it. Now, the way it is being done, there is a container that's about this big around and about this long. The down is put into the container, and a metal cylinder is placed on top, and it will compress the down, and the measurement is read on the side where you just look at the level, and that gives you the measurement. So if it's not done exactly like that, then the measurement is no good. Or you could lie about the measurement, and that has happened too. So how do we know this? Because there are testing authorities. If you want to get down tested, you can test it. And in the case of the products that I carried, 100%, when I had it tested independently, it surpassed the stated quality. So there's very, very good quality control. You have to understand there's a lot of deception in the down industry because down product is a natural product, just like cotton's a natural product too. It has to be cleaned and processed. If it's not properly cleaned and processed, it's not very nice. The higher quality product, there's more that goes into the sanitizing, the washing, and what makes it hyperallergenic. And the care that is brought into every phase of the production. That is what you get when you get a better quality product. So I just want to look a little bit. Oh, now that window's closed. I wanted to look at some of the questions that are commonly asked. Let me just see that. Okay, it's going to be pulling it up. For example, the question about goose down versus duck down. What we know is most goose down products are coming out of China, and that is an issue. Now, so here are some of the questions that are commonly asked. Are down comforters hot? Well, down comforters can be hot. If you have a comforter that is too many ounces of down, you may be more comfortable on a lighter style comforter. That's just a fact. But the idea of the comforter is that you have a natural insulation which breathes, and also the outer cotton should be of a weave that's open enough to allow air to filtrate. And so the comforter actually releases heat when it's too hot. But still, yes, a comforter can be too warm for someone, and I've had the problem myself. It really depends on the temperature of your bedroom and how you like to sleep. Okay, so next question. Are down comforters cruel? Okay, I already sort of alluded to this, that some of the practices in the down industry are taking the geese or ducks and repeatedly denuding them of their down while the geese are alive. These animals are used for food. In the better quality products, you have mature geese, and after they're killed, the down and the feather is removed. So that's what happens there. In addition to cruelty, there are other issues like not human trafficking, which is actually something that has occurred in China. But what I was going to bring up is that there's about 1 million people living in labor camps that produce Chinese products. So when you buy those inexpensive products, at what cost? There was a human who was exploited in the worst way. And these camps are horrible, where people are killed, their families are murdered if they don't comply with whatever they're forced to do. So another problem with China is a huge pollution problem that they create with their industry. There's no control over it. They pollute, and who suffers are the Chinese people. So anyway, all right. So now are down comforters washable? Yes, down comforters are washable. Here's what you have to do. You need a washing machine that's big enough to handle a comforter. You need a large capacity washer. So if you're going to do this, I suggest you go to a commercial laundromat and use their giant washing machines for this particular purpose. You will use a large dryer. Now here's the key thing that is important to remember, because you can ruin your comforter if you don't do this. When you wash your comforter in the washing machine, those chambers fill up with water, and they are very heavy, and that water has to be supported, or it can rip all the sewing out of the ticking. So what you need to do when you take the comforter and it is in this heavy state full of water is to maybe lightly press on it a little bit to extract some of the water. Don't totally squash it. You don't want to squash the down. But then what you want to do is scoop it up with your arms and remove this so I can see myself. Let's see if I can reduce the size. A moment, I'm doing this one little thing. Okay, so basically the point is you take the comforter, you use your arms to cradle it. Don't allow the water to weigh the fabric down unsupported like that. It can ruin the comforter. Place it in the dryer and let it dry. Another thing you can do is add some tennis balls in there, like in the final stages when it is drying. Or you can try and air dry it. But I recommend the dryer because I think you do it a lot faster. And I think the fluffing is very important. Now, you can have it professionally cleaned as well, but I don't recommend dry cleaning it, and I would go to somebody that specializes in cleaning goose down. Now, let's see what other questions are commonly asked. Are down comforters heavy? That's a good question. I sort of mentioned this before about different qualities of goose down. Low quality goose down is heavy. High quality goose down is not. It is light. It is like air. If you go inside and you look at the actual, I wonder how I could enable the captions. I don't know if that's a way to do that. Let's see something here. Nothing. Okay. What was I saying? Well, I hope I can edit this. Anyway, I'm going to continue. I've been doing this for 40 minutes now. So back to whether comforters are heavy or not. If you look at a high quality goose down cluster, I wish I had some photos to show you. It's like a giant complex structure that is mainly air, and the little individual filaments of down are ethereal. It's like little leaves. The way you see the veins in leaves, that is what the down looks like. All of that traps air. When you get into low quality down, you have a fair amount of what's called fiber. And what fiber is are just broken down particles and dust. And of course, dust is not good. That means the comforter has not been cleaned very well. It also means that the comforter mix really came from the bottom of the barrel. Okay. And another problem with goose down is that you can have up to 20% by weight non-goose down product in a comforter and still say it's 100% goose down. This is the standard we are dealing with because the accuracy of fill power is about 15%, right? It's plus or minus 15%. You say 100%, it could be 15% garbage. It could be the dust on the floor. And sometimes it is. And there was a reason why people in the down industry were called feather handlers. Okay, that meant a feather handler. Why a feather handler was not a very nice word. Because that feather handler, instead of putting goose down in there, you could be putting chicken feather. If you don't know anything better, maybe you think that's okay. Okay. Now, if you are in the down and feather industry, there are some items in the down and feather industry that are meant to be dense and have feather, like a feather bed or a pillow. You know, we stiffen up the pillows two ways. We either add more material into the pillow, whatever it is, or we can add more feather. So if you have a 50-50 down feather mix, you may love it, even though it has feather in it. It's also a matter of what is the quality of the feather. Is the feather an immature feather that is very small and very flexible? Or is it like a big, hard, flat feather? Because hard, flat feathers pile on top of each other like this without any air. And so without the air, the comforter doesn't really do anything. The insulation value is almost zero. I'm really not sure what I'm supposed to do with this window here. It keeps popping up. Well, I am about finished. Let me answer one more question here. Okay. Are down comforters worth it? This is a very good question to ask. Yes, a good quality down comforter is worth it. Now, let me just explain the difference in price. I've been looking out there. Like, for example, I've gone to the Purple site. I think they have one, or Casper is one. They sell a mattress that you purchase that comes to you in your home. It's all compressed, and then it magically opens up. And they sell a comforter. So I look at the comforter. It's a down comforter. It's beautifully described, but there's no information that tells me it's a luxury comforter. In fact, there's no information that tells me it's made out of goose down, or really very much about it at all. It doesn't even mention a fill power. That's something they aren't really paying a lot of money for, and they're able to offer it very inexpensively. You know, if you're staging a house, you need something cheap, that might be just fine. You know, sometimes IKEA is the best solution. But I'm a person who specializes in products that you hang on to, not products that you throw away as soon as you use them. Okay? You know, like I have wondered about making sheets out of Kleenex because we're in a kind of a throwaway society. That's the whole idea of IKEA. You get whatever you need, whether it's a lamp or a little side table or whatever, and you throw it away when it's done. Because you paid a few dollars for it, you don't mind. I don't sell that kind of product. I sell product that will give you years and years of use. In fact, even decades of use properly cared for. What do I mean by properly cared for? I mean that the comforter is protected in a duvet cover, that it's occasionally fluffed up, that if it gets stained, that you address those stains and that you take care of it. Now, a stain won't really matter that much because it's hidden under a duvet cover. But I mean, if you really get the duvet cover so out your comforter soaking in fluid or something like that, that's another matter. Or let's say your pet has an accident on your comforter, you're going to want it cleaned. So, these are all things that can happen in life. If you clean it properly, you should still have very good use and longevity from the products, giving you at least a decade of use. Earlier in this live video, I was mentioning that I had a comforter that was 30 years old and I had to throw it away. It died, but it was 30 years old. Okay, another thing that I want to mention is about bedding and a bedding wardrobe. Your wardrobe's just like your clothes for your bedding, right? You have your pillows, your comforter, your mattress, all the elements that you use for your bed. But let's think of the wardrobe as the outer part of the bed, which would be your duvet cover and your comforter. Okay? So these were the sorts of things that we specialized, was particularly on that. We did sell a mattress, but it wasn't like our main thing that we sold. It wasn't what we were known for. We did sell other things like accessories and some couture for the home. I did not really carry anything that wasn't a high quality down product because we started out as a Scandia down shop in 1980. My mother-in-law, Beverly Rosenberg, happened to be the first Scandia down franchise in the whole country. And when she opened it, she had her store on Wall Street in 1980 at a time that River North was really in its infancy. And River North was a area of Chicago that really became a retail jewel. And recently, it's undergone some trauma due to the pandemic and the protests, and it's very close to the downtown area, which also got hit very hard. There's been a lot of crime, and Chicago has been experiencing a tough economy for a while now, and so this has been very difficult because if you're a store like ours, you are very dependent on not only outer tourist market, but also the local tourist market. Good evening, son. I am doing a live video about comforters. So I will stop soon. So the whole emphasis of our business was carrying the heirloom product, which gives you years and years of use. Just like if you buy a car, or you bought a musical instrument, or you bought fine china for your table, or say a nice apparel, a fancy couture dress for a special occasion, or say it's a power suit, maybe in its expensive purse. You try and buy quality products. And so that is what we were known for, what I'm sticking with. Like I said, I'm going to be having these new introductions of vegan products. For example, they're not inexpensive. My prices are based on my vendor markup. I have to make a little bit of money on the products that I get. And if my vendor raises the prices, I also have to raise my prices. And I just called them, and she had mentioned that since I had already entered all my prices into my Shopify store, which I have not launched it yet, that she's already increased her prices. Well, you know what? I can still launch. I'm hoping to do that in the next week, or maybe less. I have another art project that I'm diverted from doing other things because I have a deadline on Saturday. But I will be launching the Shopify store shortly, and I will be starting it with just our exclusive Hungarian Goosedown comforters, our exclusive Siberian Goosedown comforters, and a new European comforter, and a couple of duvet covers for practicality, and then like our best sellers. Okay, so the new products, there's all silk. There's silk outside with Goosedown on the inside. There's wool comforters. There are comforters using corn stalk. There are comforters using recycled bottles. So I have some really interesting new vegan products, and I'm very excited to get my sample board, which I just ordered. And so I hope to talk to you more, and I hope I have a little better audience. And this is an experiment to some degree. And I'll be hopefully doing more live, but I want to do live where I get better mileage than this. This really isn't so great. And I can do live TikTok, I can do live Facebook. So I hope you enjoyed everything that I was talking about. And if I can help you in any way, please look at the information in the comment box. And I look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you so much. This is Lisa Rosenberg from RL Fine Linens.